Welcome back as we continue our discussion on the book Waiting for the Biblioboro. Again, this book was read to you on Monday, but I actually, again, have a copy. Here's a copy of it, and it is by Monica Brown and illustrated by John Parra. Yesterday, we discussed our focus question, how does the Biblioboro change life for Anna? And the content framing question, what do you notice and wonder about waiting for Biblioboro? We also discussed verbs and what they were, and I provided some examples of verbs. So today we're going to also visit verbs, but we're going to talk about past tense verbs, and I'll go into that a little later. But before we do that, we're going to complete our story map for Waiting for Biblioboro. So if you'll remember from last time or our book prior to this one, we did a story map on Tomas and Library Lady. So what we're going to do now is we're going to complete a story map. So let me get this over so you can see it. We're going to complete a story map for Waiting for the Biblioboro. So remember, as we said yesterday, Biblioboro were the actual burrows. They were like library burrows because they carried the books. Bibliotecario was the word for the actual librarian. And then our two friends, the burrows, Alpha and Beto, that was the name of the two burrows. So what we're actually going to do is write the name of our characters. So of course we know Anna. And then we have her mommy. This is how they spell it. And then we have Peppy. And then we have, of course, the Burrows. What else do you think we could write? The baby brother. We had, again, we'll put their names. I believe it's Alpha and Beto. And also remember, in addition to Anna, there were also other children. So let's put children as well. And of course, the bibliotecario. So I can squeeze him. Let's put him here. Bibliotecario. That might be off spelling a little bit, but it's close, I believe, for now. Our setting, where did the story take place? So think about, as you look through that book, where the story took place or what were some of the different scenes that they had. So one of them was, of course, home. There was a farm. Remember, she was in her bedroom. And also the village. So these are some different places or different scenes that we saw throughout the book. Now what we're going to get to is, tilt this down a little bit, is the problem. What was the problem in the story? So when you think about the problem, you have to think, what was Anna's issue or what was her major concern? So I've taken the liberty of writing this one down as well. Anna, she only had one book. And for her, she just kept reading it over and over and over. And she just wanted some new books. So you'll see I have an arrow over here. So this arrow kind of supports what did she do to have that resolved. Well, what actually ended up happening is the bibliotecario, he actually came and provided books to the children. So we could put that, or we could put Biblioboro. They helped bring books. So I'll just put brought books. And what they actually did was when they delivered the books to her, of course, that kind of fulfilled her problem. And then what they did was after she received the first books, he told her to keep them as well as the other children. And then they came back at a later time. And then she also wanted, her teacher had left, so that could be another problem because her teacher left. She couldn't get any more books. Again, when the biblioburo they came, or the librarian, bibliotecario, when they came, they actually provided books for her. And then something she did at the end, let's see if you guys can think about it, something he told her to do uh, in reference to the books that she would receive. So let's see if you can think of it. Again, he told her to do this at the end, and she did. If you said he told her to write a story of her own, you would be correct. That's exactly what he told her to do. And she did write a book and presented it to him. And then, of course, at the end, close to the end, he read the story to the children, again, sharing the book that she wrote. So, again, I want to make sure that you're listening to the material that is in this book, and definitely, the story map helps you, the content question, the framing questions, all of that is geared to assist you in making sure that you have a full understanding or a better understanding of what's going on in the book. So with that said, let's move on to our verbs. Yesterday, we learned about verbs, and verbs kind of tell the action in the actual story. And I believe I gave an example of a dream. So I said yesterday, I had a funny dream, or I had a dream last night, or I dreamed last night. So dream, of course, in that sentence is the action that is going on. I might also give an example. She swam in the deep end of the pool. So what did she do in the deep end of the pool? So again, if you said swam, you would be correct. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you a book, and you should have this book. If you don't, I'll still show it to you. It's Great Minds Module 1, World of Books. You should have this. And it doesn't have a page number on it, but if you turn to the section handout 9A, past tense, we're going to talk a little bit about verbs that are in the past. So, for example, let me give you one. Let's say if I were to put in a sentence, I like to talk to my students. So again, talk is my verb in that sentence. But if I get to the next day, I may say, yesterday, I talked to my students. And what I did was I took the word talk and then I added an ed just so it would show past tense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn our board around so I can write some examples of some verbs. And what I will do is remove our notice and wonder at the bottom. And we'll write a few. So I did talk. So this would be what I did today. I like to talk to my students. And then my past tense would be yesterday, I talked to my students. So if you notice, I put an ed to show past tense. Let's do another one. Let's see. Today, I will move my desk to the other side of the room. So I'm going to say move. And then if I'm telling you that same sentence, I'm going to change it to past tense because I've already done this action. I may say, yesterday I moved. So M-O-V-E-D. Yesterday I moved my desk to the other side of the room. So this is past tense. And this is now or the present. Let's say, let's do one more. Let's put bake. So let's say I'm going to bake my class some cookies. So there's bake. And if I want to make past tense, I am going to say yesterday I baked them some cookies. So B-A-K-E-D. And on this, I just added really just D, but it's the ED at the end. So what I would like you to do is look at that page. Again, it's 9A past tense. And it doesn't have a page number, it just says handout 9A. And you can just look at those items. And it wants you to cut out the word cards and the endings and then add those endings to the words up here. But what you can do instead of tearing that out, you can take the word that's already there and then just put the past tense of what is listed below just for practice. Again, you don't have to tear them out. But again, this is just showing you some practice for past tense. So take the time to practice that and continue to discuss the story Waiting for the Biblioboro, and identify different things that you notice and wonder, and also think about the content question or content framing question as well as the focus question. Until tomorrow, bye.